Morning, ladies. This morning I am going to do a video on the May monthly kit club kit. Michelle has done hers and May did a live class last night. If you missed that, I will put a link below to that video as well as Michelle's, so you can watch all three of them, and maybe one of us will give you some ideas that you can use, or maybe you could take bits and pieces from all of it. Okay, so we're going to get started. The first thing that I did was to just gesso this inside and out. Okay, and the back, I just gessoed the whole thing. Just because I didn't want, the wood showing through. Now, another thing that I do with these boxes, and this is optional, this is not something that you have to do, but I've used these in the past several times, and where this hinges here, right here, it tends to be a very weak sort of point. So what I did, I hope you can see that, is I just took some paper and some glue, just regular, like a double layer of paper or thick paper. That paper that they use in the envelopes, like from FedEx. Those kind of papers work awesome because they're like fiberglass. So anyway, I did this on the outside of the hinge as well as on the inside, just to give it that stability so that when it opens and closes, you're not going to have it tearing apart on you. So that's all I've done up to this point. Excuse me. Still trying to get over whatever this frogginess is. So the next thing that I've done is I've chosen a picture, a photo, and I just got this off of my Pinterest board and printed it out on fabric. I printed this out on muslin. I just loved, she's so delicate. I just loved her. I just thought she would go really well with all these gorgeous, yummy laces and stuff that I have over here. Okay, so I did that. Then I also cut some batting that I wanted to use on here because I want to make the top kind of cushiony. Just because I want to. No particular reason. Just it was just what popped into my head, and so that's what I'm going to go for. So I've also cut two pieces of batting in the shape of just a little bit smaller than the photo, so that when you lay it down, and I cut a piece of fabric to cover the batting, so that when you, sorry, I did that backwards. When you lay this down, it's going to give like a two-dimensional look to the photo when I start adding the laces and stuff on. See how that will look? That's my game plan. Might change, but that's the direction I'm going in right now. And then I have other things that I'm going to do on the inside, but we'll see how far we get with the outside, because I know this is going to be a two-part video. So this we're going to call part one. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac and just go over the top of the book. Just basically, very lightly, not a whole lot here, because you're also going to be putting a lot of laces and stuff on here, and so it's going to be held down too, even more. So we got that on there, and I'm just going to line this up with the edge right here, just a little bit back from it, and with the top, and the rest, wherever it hangs over, I will cut that off. So you just flip it upside down and just trim it. I'm going to kind of trim it at an angle so that it doesn't interfere with the fabric. Now you can get this batting at any, craft store or fabric store. I want it to be just a little bit shorter than the box. Like that. And then I'm going to put this right in the center. There's 2 layers here, so I'm just going to add a little bit of Fabri-Tac to this, just to hold these together while I glue it on to the front, the top here. This is really coming out sticky. I have to clean my tip off a lot. Okay. So now I'm going to just eyeball this. You could measure this if you wanted to, and set that right in the center. Now the reason I'm using Fabri-Tac instead of the hot glue gun, trust me, I will be using the hot glue gun, is simply because the hot glue gun can tend to leave little bumps and lumps, and I don't want that. So I used a napkin for this fabric right here. And again, I'm going to glue this all down before I trim it. And I think, since this is going to be covered in lace, that at this point I'm going to add a glue stick because I need one. But I'm going to use the hot glue gun at this point, just on the edges. Because this is all going to be covered with lace. Just like that. Because I want this to be, you know, fairly secure on the edges. I don't want it to come up because I want to give it that puff from the batting. So I'm just adding the hot glue right along this edge and just securing it. And the same thing at the top. Any unevenness, because see, you want to kind of pull this so that it's taut, so you can see that it's kind of rounded. And I'm just applying the glue and kind of stretching and adhering at the same time. Can you see how that's puffy right there? So that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to do this other side. I was so inspired after I watched May last night to get this done. I have had this for a couple of days, and it was just sitting there staring at me, and I was waiting for it to tell me, what am I supposed to do with you? And after watching that last night, I thought, I'm done waiting for it to talk. I'm just going to do what I want to do, and it'll have to deal with it. So, but you guys, it is so fun to see all of the creations that not only May and the other designers, but, you know, that everybody makes. We get so inspired by watching other people's creativity and ideas and vision about the products that are used, and we just absolutely love seeing them. So those of you who did get this kit, please share your creations with us, because you have no idea how inspiring you all are to us as well. Sometimes, you know, when you do this constantly, you sort of get a kind of like a fog of creativity. So it's nice to see what other people do, and sometimes it'll just give you that little pop that you needed to get out of your funk. So now I am going to lay this using the Fabri-Tac. I'm going to lay this right here, and then I'm going to build around the image. Rather than trying, in the past I've tried to insert the image after I've created, and it doesn't always work out so well. So this time I'm gonna try it this way. It might work and it might not, but we're gonna find out together, because that's what popped into my wee brain. So that's where we're going. Okay, so she's centered, and you can feel that extra cushion right there. So I'm just going by feel to place her. And I'm just going around the edges. I'm not gluing the center because I don't want any glue or anything like that to leave bumps in her pitty face. So another reason I'm using the Fabri-Tac, and this stuff is marvelous. It dries really quickly, and it doesn't leave you know, a lot of lumps and bumps like the hot glue gun can. And not as many glue strings either. There are some, but not like the hot glue gun. Now these little strings I can clean off later if need be, because like I said, this is going to be completely covered with laces and flowers and goodies. So the first thing I'm going to do is to do around, I want to cover up the spine right here. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to this edge where I had the fabric come over just a little bit, just to make that a little smoother. And like I said, you could cover this or not cover this. You could cover it with paper, or even like tissue paper, napkins. You could paint it. You could decoupage it. You could, well, you could do just about anything you wanted to, because really the sky's the limit. So what I want to do is I want to cover the spine first of all right here, because I want to hide that mess that I made. And I'm leaving this a little bit longer because I want it to tuck into this edge right here. So that's where I'm going to start, right here. And I am going to use the hot glue for this. So I'm just gluing that edge right there. And I'm just going to take this right here and just start adhering this. And that's the reason that I wanted to use the hot glue gun rather than the Fabri-Tac, even though that dries quickly. I wanted to have, you know, that instant gratification so that I can let this drop and not have to worry about it moving. So just going to go along the edges again. I don't want any unnecessary bumps if I can avoid it. So I'm going to go just like that and just tack it down. I'm going to do the same thing at this end. I'm just going to cut this off right here. And you can see where I didn't glue it. So I'm going to glue that. And then glue my other end down here. Now you get so much to work with in this kit, ladies. I am just, it was almost overwhelming to me looking at all this gorgeousness, and I'm like, oh my goodness, where do I start? What do I use? So we're going to try and figure that out together. And I may, you know, I'm not worrying about the bottom of this box right now. I may add some paper or, you know, something to the bottom, but I'm not worried about that. Right now I'm just concentrating on the sides and the top. Let's see. This fabric I absolutely adore. And this one, look at, just look. I mean, seriously, how do you choose? How does one choose? See how that dangles? Can you see? I can't see that. Duh. I like how this dangles over. You could cut these apart. There's any number of ways to do this, and I'm just playing. There's this, which is very pretty. Let's see how this works. No, that's a, well, maybe not. Let's see. If we did it this way, I actually kind of like that. Yeah, I'm going to do that on the sides here because it's going to look like, well, I'll show you. I got to figure out the right from the wrong side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to start with this right on the edge. And that's what I'm going to glue first, is this top edge all the way around. Can you see that? So that's what I'm doing first, is I'm just going to glue the top edge right here all the way around. And then I will come back and glue the bottom down. And when I glue the bottom down, you'll see what I meant when I said it will look like kind of a ruffled bottom. I do apologize for the voice. It's just these antibiotics seem to be taking forever. But of course, if I can't blame it on the antibiotics, if I could remember to take them on a regular schedule, they might be working better by now. But I don't have a very good brain for remembering to take medications. I guess it's just, you know, it's denial. I don't need those. Don't need those. But yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to glue this piece down right here. And then I'm going to trim this off. I need to get my scissors sharpened desperately. Okay. So I'm just going to glue this edge down right here. And now you can hopefully see, you see how this is right here? I am going to go along and glue this part right here on the bottom lip of the book so that when you have it glued, it looks like there's an extra, oops, ruffle right there. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to go back along the edge. And this is where one of those little glue tools would come in really handy. And I'll probably have to trim this one off. But there's no snipping, there's nothing like that so far necessary because I'm just simply gluing that a little bit along the lip. I'm not gluing here. And you could, even with this lace, if you wanted to, you could put some ribbon or some pearls through there if you wanted to really dress it up. You could use this for, you know, a keepsake, or, you know, even for a wedding, to, you know, store little special things, like maybe some of your grandmas or your moms, or, you know, something that's special to you. There is going to be an add-on kit, which I'm not going to share what it is, but it's something that can be used with this box later on this month. So you'll have to stay tuned and see what that is. You're going to love it. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to love it. I can't wait for it. So you guys just stay tuned and keep watching and see what comes next. So there we have that. Okay, see how that looks once you've glued that on there? It's got that little bit of extra fluff there. I am going to cut this off just a little bit. I'm going to angle it and glue that down. There we go. Okay, now we have that part done. We have the sides and we have the spine. So now it's time to play with the front. So let's see, how do we want to do this? I know I love this one. I've got enough of this one to put on the inside, because I am going to be doing something on the inside of that, but I'm not going to do that right now. That'll be in part 2, I think. So let's see what we want to do. Thinking. I don't know. We'll see. This is where the fun part comes in. You also have to figure out where all of the what's the front and the back side look like. And I really like this hanging over on here. Really do. So I'm going with it. Let me show you before I cut it. See how that just sort of drapes over? I really like that. So that's where I'm going with it. So let me just get this. I'm going to cut this right here. And ladies, do not be afraid to cut these. You get so much bang for your buck when you cut these, because you can get sometimes 2 or 3 different types of trims out of one piece of trim. I'm just cutting off the little pieces that are on there from where it joined to the other part of it. Now see, this one, like I said, you could cut this apart and have individual appliques. You could cut it right here. This kind of looks like a little, whoop, help if I was in frame. This kind of looks like a little fleur-de-lis, possibly. There's a flower. Or you could cut this part out right here and have a heart. Looks kind of like a heart. And have a half flower there. And the options are just limitless. Here you have a little circle and a little diamond. You could cut this apart carefully and use that piece. I mean, there's just any number of ways to do this. So, excuse me. I am going to, I've got to turn this around so I can see what I'm doing. I want to make sure that this is lined up properly, because I want this piece right here to go, I am going to add more to this right here, but this is just like the base. So I think I will use the Fabri-Tac on this. As you can see, I'm not using a whole lot of glue, and I'm just kind of like stretching and smoothing as I go. And I am here at the bottom, I am going to just tack it right here along the, along the bottom of the box, just so that it doesn't like flip backwards when I open it. So I am just going to add that. I love the dangle, but I don't want it flopping all over the place when I open the box. So I've glued it along the sides as well, right here. And again, there will be more. Never have just one. You can never have too much lace, ladies, or bling for that matter. So I really like that. And then we have this gorgeous piece. Now, this is where you can have like two pieces in one. And I'm going to show you what I mean because, well, maybe I won't. I might like that, just like that. Let me see. Let me see what it does over here. Don't want it, no, see, that's going to go across our face. But if I cut it apart, yeah, that's what I'm going to do for part of this. Anyway, I am going to cut right here. Let me see how far I need to go with that. I think maybe I might leave this piece on here. I'm going to cut it and leave it there just for now. I might change my mind, but for right now, I'm going to... I'm just trying to figure out how much I need to cut because I might want to have, see, I'm going to leave, I think, we'll see. That's the game plan right now. So what I'm going to do is just cut this off evenly, and then I'm just going to cut, let me get up here so you can see. Just going to cut right along here. Again, let me see how much of this I'm going to need. So right to there. Okay, so now you can see we have the two pieces instead of just one. Both beautiful, both usable. So my thought was, after I've cleared this off, my thought was to put this right here, maybe, or even go over top of this so that you have like the double dangle, or up here, which I do like that. Let's see how this looks around here as an edging. I don't know about that. Let's see what this looks like. Right, wrong, right, wrong. There we go. No, I want that on the outside. Kind of liking that. Because if you can see, this kind of comes right along the edge of the spine. The only thing I need to figure out is what I want to put right here. So let's see. You know what? Maybe, where's that? Sure. Maybe I want another row of this. Like a double row. Maybe. I also have this, which, oops, I'm going backwards, which we could slip like in between here. Like so. That's kind of pretty too. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Let me get that other piece that, oops, I put in here because we might be able to use that. I love this, and I'm thinking, let's see. No, you can't really see that. And we could put another piece on this side. Okay, where did I put the other one? Here we go. See, that's not long enough to cover up what I want to cover up here. So we're going to go back to the last plan that we had. So let's see what we could do with these. Maybe cut these apart and use them. We'll see. I'm going to go with the plan that I had if I can remember what it was now. Okay, I had this here. I love this trim. It's kind of a pleated tool, but it's not a regular tool. It's really, really soft. So you're probably thinking, why is she covering that up? Well, I'm not, because this is a being tool. Oh, excuse me, you can see through it. So, thinking about doing that. Yes, I'm going with that because I really like the way that that looks. So, I'll put something else right here. But for now, I'm going to go with this because I really like it. And if you like it, you should do it because you could drive yourself crazy. Oh, no, I do. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. Trying to decide what I like best. And sometimes you just got to do it. Just do it. And I'm just going to go around here. Ouch, glue hot. Like that. I'm not going to glue this down because I still want the ability to put something else up in here. So now I'm going to take my beautiful trim right here and I'm going to glue that right down here in the same spot. And I can use that, I'm sure, someplace else. Maybe on here, maybe on the inside. You know, you just never know. Trust me, all of this will be used, whether it's on here or on another project. Nothing goes to waste. And all I did there was just kind of tuck that under and glue it. And I'm going to do the same thing over here just because it's tending to fly away a wee bit. So I'm just barely touching. Oops. There we go. See, just so that it lays down better. Now, where did I put that piece? I had. Here it is. Gotta find the right side. And once again, I am just gluing right along the edge of this pleated trim. Now we still have, I haven't even opened my trinket box. We have stick pins. We have a little chunky charm that we're going to make to hang on the side of this. So we still have lots of stuff to play with, ladies. So there we have the top. I really, really like that a lot. We also have lots of ribbons. We have some of this trim, which may just go right here after I figure out the sides. Yeah, that's pretty. So definitely using that. We have some of these gorgeous leaves with some pearl bling on it. Kind of a spray. So let me see what we want to use. See how this looks. See why I didn't glue that down? Because I want to be able to tuck up underneath here. I think I like that. I'm not gonna, I'll cut it off right here because I don't want to cover that up. So I think that's the plan. I think that's what we're going to go with, because that'll frame both sides. So I'm going with it. I'm going for it. I'm just going to pull this edge up here a little bit. And as you can see, I'm just going right along the edge right here where the side is. And just, I'm going to cut this before I end up gluing the whole thing down all the way down the side, because that would be like me to do that, even though that's not what I want to do. I could end up doing that. So just going to glue it to right there, and I'm trying to get those little picos, I guess you'd call them. And this, I'm just going to glue around here. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Cut that right there. And still, I have enough to use on the inside of the box, because that has to be finished off too, you know. You know. Whoops. See, I had a sometimers moment there. Sometimes I remember what I'm doing and sometimes I don't. That was one of them. So you see how that frames her face? I really like that because I think she's gorgeous. So again, I'm just going to go along this edge right here. And I want to glue it down at the top and the bottom, but not the side that's facing her. I'll leave that to be able to move a little bit. Plus, you never know what you might want to sneak up underneath there, because there is still, forgot to glue this side down, there is still just a wee bit of the underlying fabric right here. So you may have to do something with that. Now let's see, what else do we want to do? I know I want to use these, but I'm thinking that maybe I want to do another layer. Do I? Maybe offset it a bit. Nah, too much. Let me see. What about this? No, I'm not crazy about that either, but let me see if we could sneak for this. Cut this off, remember? We could put this, just cut this piece right here. Bring it down just a wee bit. See. Did that. And then the same thing down here, only reversed. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, we'll leave those. You're probably thinking this lady is nuts. She's nuts. But and it's true, I am. But I like to play. And who doesn't like to play with yummy laces? I do, I do. So I've just cut off 2 of these little medallions, and I'm just gluing them right here. 2. Put this on here so I know where to adhere to glue. And all of these, where I'm piecing these together, you won't see this. So if you were thinking that, you know, she's just gone over the edge. No, not really. This is just the base work. There we go. Now, I do want, however, I do want a little something here. That's kind of cute. Or do I want to go with my original thought and use these? Oh dear, decisions. Well, how about, let's see if we could use both. Go like this. And then, why not, I say? Okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. Look at how much of this I still have left. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. And I have a ton of these medallions, which I will be using. I still have some of this. I have a lot more of this. I mean, it's just unbelievable the amount of product that May puts into her kits. I have to trim that off. I don't like the way that looks. I think I'm going to have to use some Fabri-Tac on this just to keep that from raveling. You do have to be aware of that, though, when you cut the laces, because sometimes, or the trims, sometimes it will, you know, ravel just a bit. Not a lot, but, oops. And again, I'm using the Fabri-Tac so that you're not getting a lot of bumps. Okay. I like that. Yes, I do. Yes, 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 I do. So I'm just going to, again, use the Fabri-Tac and go along. I'm going to call these little picots because I don't know what else to call them. And just on, you know, the center a little bit. Like that. And along the bottom edge and the sides too, of course. And like I said, I haven't even opened the little extra goodies with yummy flowers and beads and just all kinds of gorgeousness. Got to add a little bit of glue here and there where I cut that. Okay. This may end up being a well, I know it's going to be a two-part, but possibly a three-part depending on how much I get done in this session. So let's see. I like it. So this time I am going to use the hot glue gun. And I'm just going along that line right there on the trim. Again, you get a ton. A ton. You never know where else we might just end up putting this too. So there we have that. I see a little edge here that didn't quite take. I'll make sure that it's glued down. I'm just double checking to make sure that this doesn't flip off. We've got one little point that wants to go flipping up, so I'm just going to tack that down just a little bit. So there we have the front so far. with our little trims here. So, oops, still glue. So now we need to add some more. Oops, wrong one. I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna cut one of these apart and see what I think after I cut it, because I really like these. Find the right side. There's still a couple of little. You can hear my scissors squeaking. Is that annoying? Oops. Oh, yes, I really like that on there. See, you just never know. You just don't know until you start playing. And we might even cut up a couple of those medallions even more. I just lifted the top up and I'm just adhering that right there. Now you could, at this point, if you wanted to, just kind of tack those down. I made you that, but right now all I'm doing is just lightly tacking these into place. Like that. Isn't that birdie? Oh, that's so birdie. I like it. I really like playing. I love playing. And see, this is what I was talking about earlier when you have these pieces right here, these little pieces. Don't throw those away, because you never know where you might have that one perfect little spot where this will fit just perfectly. So I don't throw stuff away. Just for that reason, because you just never know when you're going to need it or want it. My nails look like they're starting to grow fur from all of the... See how you have these cute little pieces left? Keep them. My nails look like fur where I have all this glue and all this fuzziness on here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. Just glue this. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Sometimes you almost need, easy for me to say, 3 hands. But we'll get her done. Then I'm just going to tack this at the other end. I'll probably go back and tack this down even better later, but for right now, I just wanted to get that on there. Now, we have, let's see, I kind of like this side the way it is, but playing never hurt. Okay, ladies, I'll be back shortly. I'm going to take a slight break, and then I'll be back.